Why us? Why now? Angry Priest Lake residents demand answers from a gas pipeline company that says it's now going to enforce decades-old regulations. New at 10 tonight, our Todd Walker is back from a meeting where neighbors who stand to lose thousands of dollars here, they really let them have it, these officials.
Yeah, they knew coming here that people were going to be mad, and some of these residents might have to take decks off their houses, dig up swimming pools, and cut down trees. The rules that say none of this can be in the pipeline company's easement have been around for more than 40 years, but the company is just now starting to enforce it. If Priest Lake residents came to tonight's meeting expecting answers and to feel better about the prospect of their yards being cleared and dug up, they likely didn't get much of the first and certainly didn't get much of the second.
You let people build sheds, you let people build swimming pools, and people spend a lot of money on their stuff, and now all of a sudden you're coming in and telling us that we have to tear it down and move it?
Amen.
It's not right. That's absolutely.
Everyone here has a home that backs up to 3 gas lines owned by Columbia Pipeline Group. The lines are clearly marked, but what was not until the last few weeks was how wide a 60-year-old easement is that Columbia says needs to be clear of just about everything. A few weeks ago, residents were told every structure, every tree, and most everything else within 45 feet of either side of the 3 gas lines has to go. One resident estimates that would be more than 180 feet across.
So when our homes were built, they were built butt up against that easement. And essentially 50, 60, 70% of the property that we pay taxes on is no longer, we can't use it.
So I say this to you as prudent operators, we are doing this for safety, and we will work with each one of you individually to make sure that your concerns are heard, and we can tell you realistically what we can do for you.
The pipeline was installed in the 1950s. The homes were built in the 70s and 80s, and the residents now are stuck with the consequences.
Our property values and our lives are being majorly compromised. And I just feel like I can't agree enough with you on that there needs to be a conversation between Columbia Gas and Metro because wrongs need to be righted.
Columbia Pipeline says it will be meeting individually with everyone affected to try to make this as bearable as possible, but Columbia says it's bound by federal regulations, which also aren't new. The court case that lays out these easements has been on public file with Metro since the 1950s, and since it's on a public file, they say it's up to residents to find it and to know about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can understand their frustration. Who's really at fault here? Do we know?
If we knew, then there'd probably already be a lawsuit in court. But it's hard to blame the residents in this case, even though they are expected to know about this public file. Most were not there when their homes were built. But the question really right now is, how did this development get approved? It had to go before the Metro Planning Commission before it could get approval. So who was at fault there and let this go forward where it was built on these easements? And that, with that question, does Metro or the developer, way back when these homes were built in the 70s and 80s, do they owe these property owners for the lost property value?
Any kind of culpability here?
Yeah.
We'll keep following it, Todd.
Absolutely.
Very interesting. Thanks.